So the next up here is between Cody and Kevin, and it's my boy Tyler Boyd. Everybody on this show should know by now that I love Tyler Boyd, but Cody seems to be a little bit down on him. And Kev, you've risen up the charts on him, so you have him up to 18. That's higher than me, actually. I'm gonna have to raise him up to 17 just to beat you on that. Cody, you have him down to 25. What's the difference here, Cody? Why are you down on Boyd? Down being a wide receiver 3 compared to Kev's wide receiver 2.
To me, I just think this entire offense is just going to be a straight up dumpster fire. I think Andy Dalton overachieved last year whenever he was supporting AJ and Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon was having obviously having success in the passing game too. We talked about it with Evan Silva slightly whenever he was in the pod a couple weeks ago. It's obviously a limited sample, but last year when Tyler Boyd had his third year breakout that we always talk about, he actually performed better with AJ on the field. We know Green is going to miss the first probably 2, 3, maybe 4 games, and then with the issues he's been having, there's no guarantee that when he does come back, he's here for a handful of games and he's out again. The offensive line is banged up again. I understand that he's going to be the most heavily targeted, but there are just other guys that I prefer to draft ahead of him.
I'm not worried about what the small sample size. Some of that, whenever AJ Green went out, you have to remember Andy Dalton also got hurt, and so he was out there with Jeff Driscoll, who, if you didn't know, they're looking to convert Jeff Driscoll from a quarterback to a wide receiver. So if that gives you any confidence with the starting quarterback that he was given last year, yeah. I think there's a lot to like about this offense. I think the scheme change, going from Marvin Lewis over to Zach Taylor, I think is going to benefit him. Even with the terrible play that he got at quarterback, if you look at his year, I mean, he had throughout the entire year, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 games of 20 or more fantasy points. And even, I mean, he really only hurt you on a few weeks last year. And he was somebody that really wasn't, that was either you drafted late or was free. So there's a lot to like, in my opinion, targeting Tyler Boyd. I have no problem. He finished the year last year at 15.8 fantasy points per game. He received 22% of the targets. I don't think that's going to change whatsoever. I think he stays right there. We've already talked about the new offense, and also when targeting Tyler Boyd, his quarterback rating, the quarterback was 102.0, which was 8th in the league. So there's just a lot of stuff to like about Tyler Boyd. I'm not afraid at all with AJ Green being out, if that's going to somehow hurt him. It's weird. Like, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, I think it is just a small sample, because anytime a player goes down in our offense, we always boost that player up because of more opportunity. And now all of a sudden with Tyler Boyd, people are like, oh, AJ Green's out. Move him down, boys. He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver. That's not a good thing. I don't know. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. I really like Tyler Boyd. Like I said, I moved him up to wide receiver 18. I think before AJ Green went down, I had him at like wide receiver 25, 26. As soon as the AJ Green news happened, I moved him on up. I could even move him up a little higher if I wanted to, but I feel really good about where he's at right there. And he's somebody that I would be heavily targeting as a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, depending on which way your draft turns out for you. But, I would feel great drafting him in the 5th round.
How much do you think the scheme is going to matter with Tyler Boyd, given that he's mostly going to be a slot guy?
I think that's something else that I think that's just another positive for him. We know that those high value, high percentage targets are super valuable. And I think that's just another thing that's going to help him to really maintain, a weekly floor. And I think his ceiling is definitely there. Like I said, you look at it, week 2, he finishes wide receiver 14. Week 4, he finished wide receiver 18. And then week 6, wide receiver 9. Week 8, he finished wide receiver 4. I mean, he certainly has that in the range of outcome in his tool bag. And there's just a lot to like here, and I don't think their defense is going to be very good. I think they're a team that's going to be trailing a lot, and I think that all works out well for them. And if that's what we see, we're going to see even more targets. Last year, the Bengals offense actually was number 20 in the league in pass plays per game. I think that number goes up. And he did receive, I think he got 7 red zone targets, 9 red zone receptions last year, which was 16th in the league. So there's just a lot to like here for him, and I just feel like that, everything that we have, and right now I think he's one of the safest plays, but I think his ceiling is still even a little bit higher than where his ADP is going.
Man, Cody going hard after the Red Rocket there, man. Andy Dalton, wow. If there were any Bengals fans left, Cody, they'd be coming after.
Well, good thing that there are not.